It's 1937. The Japanese are ticked. Shanghai has been taken by the Japanese. The Chinese troops are retreating to a place. That place is Nanking. Nanking was the capital of nationalist China at the time, so the Japanese made it their objective to capture it. What would happen eventually to that city would be awful. Nanking would be one of the most or the bloodiest tragedies in Chinese history. Now you're probably saying, why this topic? Why not make a video about Italy or Japan or any other topic besides this? Well, I think it's important. This massacre isn't famous as the Holocaust or the gulags in Russia or any other massacre in World War II. This massacre was easily forgotten for most people in the West, since most of the war effort was concentrated on Europe. Nanking is a tragedy and should not be forgotten. Okay, now that we got all that out of the way, let's begin. After the defeat of Shanghai, the Japanese went to Nanking. Along the way, they pillaged, raped, killed, and targeted Japanese infants and elderly. They left villages and towns as ghost towns. People who were captured were tortured. Women were raped by dozens of men and became sexual slaves. After a while, they would be discarded along the way. Then the Japanese had made it to Nanking. Before they had arrived, a leader of nationalist China, Chiang Kai-shek, ordered the troops out and ordered another general to stay. Chiang prohibited the evacuations of Nanking citizens, but people were like, heck no, and started leaving. Then the remaining citizens, they got the worst consequence of not leaving the city was. Then it happened. December 13th, 1937, would be the day of destruction. The Japanese entered the city. They shot the crowd who were running away. They hunted down every Chinese army man and the Japanese killed them. Mass executions occurred. Many died by machine gun, then doused in gasoline. Some people who survived the round of machine gun fire got burned to death by the Japanese. It's estimated that around 200,000 to 300,000 people died in the entire massacre, but numbers are still shady. Now, this is the part of the video where I have to give a warning for you folks. This part of the video might get graphic, and yes, I will talk about rape. Be mature and respectful. Thank you. Let's continue. The women who inhabited Nanking got the worst thing that could happen to a woman: rape. Women were brutally raped during this period, hence the name, the Rape of Nanking. Around an estimated 200,000 women were raped. They raped children, teens, pregnant women, elderly. The Japanese forced the rape of fathers to daughters, sons to mothers, and people who didn't comply got killed. Now, to prove this actually happened, I have here, well, not actually here, but I have testimonies of Nanking survivors. Let's take a look. Before we begin, I may have to voice some lines for some. This story is from Wang Ji-ying. She was 8 years old when the massacre happened. At 1 or 2 p.m., 2 Japanese soldiers came. Papa and Uncle weren't home. We tried to block the door. I was badly bayoneted. I still have scars. My sis was kicked and hurt. I healed her wound. They raped Mom and Aunt. The Japanese left. We wept. Mom told us to never tell anyone about it. Papa and Uncle were mad when they came back. My head was injured from those atrocities. I have to take daily medication. Okay, now this story is from Shang Z Chang Kang. I don't know. I saw 3 Japanese soldiers run into the alley with bayonets and guns. They fired. My mom was carrying my baby brother, who was crying. She was feeding him to keep him quiet, but the Japanese devil stabbed her. She fell and almost dropped the baby. She managed to save him. He stabbed her again, dropping my baby brother in the process. We started crying. I said, "Don't stab my mom! Don't stab my mom! Don't stab my mom!" One of the Japanese devils saw my brother bawling on the ground. He stabbed him through his butt and tossed him away. My mom was alive. She couldn't talk. She motioned me to check on my brother. The ground was covered in corpses. He was crying. He was alive. When my mom saw him, she tried to feed him. She was bleeding. My mom, she couldn't talk. Mom's head fell. She had died. As you can see, the brutality of the Japanese was well seen in these victims. This massacre would occur for 6 weeks. Nanking is filled with stories of so many people we won't get to hear. This massacre should not be denied. Some say the Nanking massacre is a fabrication. Today, China and Japan's relationship, according to the Chinese government, is strained by Japan's refusal to accept its past. Still, there is much evidence that this massacre happened. In conclusion, the Nanking Massacre is an important event in Chinese history and World War II history from its many stories and its tragic past.